All right, once we're done with the push and the pull factors, we're going to decide on the reasons as to why different people migrate, why do different people move from one place to another. Just a quick reminder, immigrants are those people which move from one country to another. Now, people usually move from for the reasons of work. The examples that are mentioned in the book is that after World War II, that lasted from 1939 till 1945, since the United Kingdom had faced a loss of skilled workers, so they relaxed their immigration policy. So UK needed professionals after the Second World War, and it opened its doors for a lot of professionals such as doctors and engineers, which essentially left to work in the United Kingdom. Another reason for which the people like to move for work is the availability of highly paid jobs for educated people. Educated people who are a part of underdeveloped nations usually do not get paid enough for their jobs. But if they move to developed countries such as the UK or the US, they have a tendency of being paid pretty well for the similar kind of jobs. Then we have a lot of immigrants that have moved from Pakistan to the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. Why? Because they are paid pretty well over there for their skills. All right. So we've done with the first part. The second reason people usually migrate is the religious reasons. People feel oppressed for their religious views, so they tend to move from one area to another. The migration of the Prophet and his companions from Mecca to Medina, this happened in 622 CE, that is the Common Era. Please remember that right now it is 2020 CE, just to give you an idea of how old this event dates back. This migration was done due to the religious reasons. Then the migrations of Muslims and Hindus in 1947 due to partition. The Muslims believed that their religious views were not being respected in the Indian subcontinent. So once the partition was announced, a new country for Muslims was made, that is Pakistan. The Muslims had to migrate to Pakistan, and thus the Hindus who were residing in the areas that comprise Pakistan had to move back to India. The third reason, let me just set up the notebook. All right, so the third reason is usually people migrate is because to escape wars, violence, or conflicts. The oldest example we have are the Jews that moved from Germany in 1933 till 1939 because the Nazis were victimizing the Jews for their race, for them being Jews. This is the pre-World War II era, all right? Then the case of Afghan refugees. In the 1970s, Afghanistan and the Soviet Union, which is now Russia, major part is now Russia, had a conflict, due to which a lot of Afghan refugees moved into Pakistan. As in the late 2000s, such as 2009, to be very specific, the conditions of Afghanistan have improved, but pretty few of the Afghan refugees have moved back to their home country. A more recent case that you might be familiar with is the case of Syrian refugees. Syria faced a civil war in 2011, and in 2014, a massive, a bulk amount of Syrian refugees moved from Syria to Turkey. Since these refugees were on foot, they only had options to migrate to the adjoining countries such as Turkey, Jordan, and Lebanon. Before 2011, Pakistan was the country that hosted the most number of refugees, but now it's Turkey. Then due to the natural disasters, we've already discussed that. We had an earthquake in Azad Kashmir and northern areas in Pakistan back in 2005. This resulted in a loss of a lot of homes for people who were permanently living in those areas. So these people had to migrate from these areas, Azad Kashmir and the northern areas, into Islamabad and other cities where they were given some temporary residence. Just to tell you that people who are internally, who move from one area to another within a country are called as internally displaced people. Another thing you need to look at is some information in your book right over here. It's a fact. Just please give it a focus. Economic migrants migrate to find work. Asylum seekers flee from danger in their homeland and go to another country. Then, refugees are people who have proved to the authorities that they might be harmed if they go back home. That's the case with the Afghan refugees and the Syrian refugees as well. Internally displaced people, the ones that were displaced during the earthquake in Pakistan 2005, these are the people, are refugees who have moved to another part of their home country. Azad Jammu Kashmir, from Azad Jammu Kashmir to Islamabad. Then illegal immigrants arrive in a country and do not make themselves known to the authorities. Many migrate illegally to find work. This happens in extremely underdeveloped countries where people illegally try to travel to developed areas and they do not declare themselves to the authorities and try to find work to sponsor themselves, to support themselves. This is it for today.